Number two. Yes.
5:32 p.m. April the 8th, 2024. We will call the Hector County Notice Board meeting to order. We're going to have Secretary elevated, Miss Booth.
In the map.
The sheriff here.
She coming?
Yes.
I got my
We have called it to order. You ready? Roll call, Ms.
Carol McIntosh.
present.
Joseph King.
President.
Myself, Linda Booth. Patrick Julian. Patrick Julian. Billy Dantzler. Micah Hutchinson. William Harris. Rochelle Bowling. Frida Williams. Here. So currently we only have basically two people active.
Right. Where's? There's he is. Okay, we got several presidents. Rattle that down. Okay, we will move it to the next. Now let it just come on. We got it quiet. And anyone would like to give a word of prayer? Mrs. Williams.
Heavenly Father, I'd like to thank you for this day. I thank you for this gathering, Lord. Father, in your name, please allow us to do something in your name, decent and in order. Please, Lord, we know that the devil will tremble at the call of your name. And we just ask you to come into our midst today and help us to get through a successful meeting. In your name I pray. Amen.
Next thing on the agenda is public speaking. I'll get a public 3 minutes to speak. We're not going to just, and I would probably give you, when we get down to 5 or 10 minutes, Mark, I would probably give you raise my hand, let you know that you need to wrap it up. That. Public speaking.
First public speaker is Audrey Muhammad from the second ward.
I just would like to ask this as another suggestion, and I like the fact that we have the agendas and the sheets. I like that. That's a good addition since the last time I've been at a meeting with Big Plus. Would it be possible if you also had maybe the sheets that you write, like your information, complaints or whatever on? Because if we had those, a lot of people don't have access to the computer or it's harder to print. And then that way, if we had like a few of them available, we could just take one, because I know there is some complaints. And I know I had some. I know Mr. King was at the meeting last night, so he got a chance to see firsthand some of the things that was going on and some of the things that could be very biased. But I also was just would like to ask too, you know, we have some things that are, seem to be unethical a little bit when we have board members that come into the city council asking for monies for different things. And I wish she was here. Ms. Trishelle was asking for money for the North Side store. And not only just that, is she going to recuse herself? I wanted to ask her personally, is she going to recuse herself and quit the board since she's running for prosecuting attorney, because that's a conflict of interest also. And but that is a conflict of interest for her to be asking for money for the store, asking for ARPA funds, being that she's here, a member of this board, and she's been down there a couple of times. That's not fair and it's not right. We already talked about, we know that the council members are there asking for money and asking for money for their own personal 501c3s. There's several of them, and then not only just that, one is asking for money for a 501c that also a member of Neely's staff is a part of that. Now let's call it Shelley Green and Candace Mushat are together in that business up at that, I think it's the North Flint Development Center. They're a part of that business together, but they both are asking, and I think they received $300,000, if I am mistaken, for their program. But Shelley works downstairs too, so we have a lot of conflicts of interest that's going on with the city and things that we definitely need to start looking a little bit more at. And my question to them is, how much money are y'all getting off the top? Because even with that summer program that they talking about, I love math, I can do math. That math ain't adding up, it ain't mathing. More than half of the funds that's gonna be given to that program is not gonna be going to them children that's gonna be learning and getting trained and getting paid to work. More than half of it. So, you start to doing the math, you can see that that's not it. But my thing is, we need to have an independent audit and have somewhere, bring your financial statements. Some of the things that I know, this is what we talking about with the ethics, them especially when they get ready to give money, they don't ask for no financial record to see what their budget look like. So, it's a lot of things that should be put on paper, because I know you all don't want to accept it if you haven't seen it. But to me, if you a board member here and you went to the meeting and saw firsthand, well, be able to come here and address it here, because there was too many things that happened yesterday. How we on a recess and I get put out in the middle of a recess for having a conversation, and she never called the meeting back to order. That was unjust. And then even the police coming over, putting their hands on me and touching me in that meeting. That's all on videotape. He touched me until I addressed it and said, "Did you just touch me?" And then that's when he backed up. I said, "You have no reason to put your hands on me and touch me at all." So that's something that's going to have to get addressed by the police department. It's going to have to be addressed by the ACLU, because tomorrow we'll be making a call to them.
Thank you. Next speaker.
James Moore.
James Moore, my first time here. I see a lot of faces that I know on a regular basis, so I'm here to be educated. And just one question, just off the top of my mind: does this work in conjunction with the mayor, or it's just an independent panel that?
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Supposed to.
Next speaker.
AC Dumas.
Yes, I'm AC Dumas. And I'm just really trying to find out, what does this board do? So far I haven't seen you done anything. Nothing. Not at all. As Sister Muhammad said, the Flint City Council meeting are horrible. All over the country. You have council members cussing people out, throwing people out. What does this board do? I know some of you tight with the executive branch. That's why nothing gets done on the executive. So he had one question. I just got one question. What does this board do? That's my question. That's it.
Next speaker.
Lottie, is it direct?
Direct.
I just wanted to piggyback off of what Mr. Dumas said. The council meeting is getting out of hand. Then with these new rules, they was arguing about the rules they had. They didn't know but wanted to pass it. The way they talk to the public, I know sometimes people do get out of hand. You will yell out. That's anywhere, stadium, anything. Sometimes you just want to yell out yes or no. but there's no reason for the harsh things, and then they going back and forth, and it's just chaotic. And it's creating a hostile environment, and then when you bring the police involved, it creates an even more hostile environment, because now they created a city where the people, the residents, are going to hate the police because they're being weaponized against us. So we losing all respect. So pretty soon, just not losing respect for the council, but we'll start losing respect for this board, because nothing is being done. Where do we go as a resident? Who got our back? Who gonna help us out? Who gonna make sure that we are okay? Everybody is okay but the people who suffer through it. I just want to know who gonna step in and one day step on that podium or have a meeting and hold them council members responsible. They shouldn't have that much power. It's just too much power amongst them crooked five or the treacherous five. It's just too much power in their hand. Sooner or later, somebody has to answer to that. So I'm just wondering when is somebody really gonna step up and be like, these people are upset, we gotta do something because this is our job, that's what we're here for. And, that's it.
Next speaker.
Donna Allen.
Mine is the water crisis ordeal that I am still going through. The city of Flint came out to turn off my water for non-payment. And a call was made, they realized that it was paid. They came back to turn it on and broke it. And they left it. And I have not been in my home, so homeless since the water crisis. I am still not back in my house over the city breaking my water line. I have been down to the mayor's office and the previous ombudsman giving documentation that they broke my water line and left. They closed out my accounts. I went and paid for other accounts. And when either Lang or Goyette came in, switched out the water lines, I had water. I paid 5 months of billing, and they sent a $4,700 water bill for unbilled usage. And I've been homeless out of my home since then. They would not turn back on my water unless I agreed to pay over $400 a month for this unbilled usage. I've been down there and asked administration, where did they get $4,000 when they the ones broke it and shut it off? And I had to move out. I could not bring water in or even live there. And I am still not in my home. I have documentation that, and to the ombudsman and mayor. So I've been in a car accident and all of this. I am paying for taxes for my house to keep it. This last bill has been $1,700 to keep my house out of foreclosure while I am not living there, along with another residence that I have to stay in because the water is not on. I still pay for maintenance, trying to keep the yard up and the dumping and whatever else they're doing. So it's been very just hard to deal with disability and them making me homeless over this. It's been 10 years.
Sad. This is so sad.
And I have to come down and go to, I've been to the water department, the mayor, the one from the consumers, trying to resolve and get this. So after this amount of time, when can this situation be resolved? And when they turned it on, they said, well, we found the water on. Lang, Goyette turned it on to do the, to redo the lines. They stuffed it, closed it, and would not let me have water.
Ms. Allen, we'll respond to you out there about a different speaker. Next speaker.
Rich Jones.
How y'all doing today?
Hello, sir.
I just got a couple of questions. The first question I have, you know, Eric Mays seat, they replaced somebody in his seat, and they was acting like y'all was just gonna take their heads off their neck if they didn't put nobody in that seat in 30 days. And I asked Davina, I was like, well, what is the penalty if they don't put nobody in the seat? Oh, we don't want that. So I just want to know what would have happened if they wouldn't have placed nobody in that seat. Because I don't think it was fair that they didn't even communicate with the first ward. And I have nothing against Leon Alamine, nothing at all. But he done missed a meeting already. Councilman Mays has never missed a meeting. Councilman Mays was a full-time council person with part-time pay. And now all we have is 9 part-time council people. And I really feel that the first ward should have been asked what kind of person that they wanted to put in that seat, and they should have been able to put them in that seat. And Mr. King, I love it the way you open up by saying if you get to 5 minutes, 6 minutes, I'm gonna have to stop. I'll be praying that the city council take that same approach. It's like they're watching the clock, and when 2 seconds left, they start cutting you off. And when you try to finish up, they overtalk you. I went to a school board meeting to where AC Dumas damn near spoke 2 extra minutes without being said. Nothing was said to him. And it was about 50 or 60 mean, aggressive teachers that all of them went over their 3 minutes. And none of them was told to be quiet, given a warning, anything. And then people sat down. And the people are really wondering who's running our city. They want to know really what you guys are about. Because a lot of things that are being said is like, y'all don't have no balls. Like, the things that need to be done, y'all know they need to be done, but it's something that's telling y'all that y'all can't do it. And it's not getting done. And it's about to be a serious altercation in that city council chamber. And it needs to be controlled now. You know, I was with Eric Mays to where the point to where only thing I knew about politics was what he told me. I was with Eric Mays when he was getting tossed out of city council meeting as a public speaker. He told me this is the worst council he has ever been a part of. And people that just go to council meetings like AC Dumas, they tell me this is the worst council Flint has ever had.
10 years ago, I had a YouTube channel. The council just got one yesterday. Why? Why didn't they just put it on the city's YouTube channel? The city of Flint has a YouTube channel. I mean, I had a couple of months before it ended. Like, it was over at the end of that contract, so I knew it was going to be continuing. The next mayor's office, next council. Need your support.
Yes, thank you to the Ethics and Accountability Board, to Brother Joe King, Chairperson, and to Brother Harris. I don't see him, the Vice Chair. all the board members who are present seated now. I just wanted to come by and express my feelings on what I have seen, and especially number one, I try not to take too long. And number one is the way that the Ethics and Accountability Board has taken the approach to hire Ms. Little. Very disturbed by what I have seen, very uneasy about what I've seen. And what I've seen from our city is that dictatorship, control, manipulation, and to take your democratic right to vote and choose under the guise of the law. The law, the late Councilman Mays always said, he said, once they become laws, then you don't even have no representation. I never thought that I would see it, but anytime that you go outside the confines of the Flint City Charter, I don't care who you are, I don't care where you come from, I don't care who your daddy is, your mama, or nobody else. You have broken the law. And the Ethics and Accountability Board was instituted to make sure that no one, absolutely no one, should operate outside Flint City Charter. That's the 10 Commandments, and that's the way it is. And there's no other way to look at it. And I want to admonish you to really stand together. Don't allow your house to be divided, because a divided house cannot stand. And you've got to lay aside, and it doesn't matter if it's Mayor Neely. Yes, I said it. I'll go tell him I said it. Mayor Neely is not our city. The people in this room is our city. And we have better be careful to always remember that. We don't have to pick a fight, as long as everyone does what they're supposed to do according to the charter. People have told me in my community that they are extremely upset. And they said to me, they said, Pastor Gilbert, you didn't do anything when you was on there, and they're doing worse than what you are. That's what they said. And I just want to express that to you. You have my full support. I stand with every one of you. I respect every one of you. But as Brother Joe King always said, sometimes you have to shift gears. And I think we're at that point. And to Miss Little, you have my full support. I think that you are the person that can be trusted to execute the things that are written therein in the Flint City Charter. And to my good friend, I see her, Lawyer Skillman, I see her here today. Whatever your decision is on your consultant or whatever it is that you're going to do concerning her, if you do not do it, it will be a sad mistake not to try to put together a package for Attorney Skillman as you do. Thank you, Brother Joe. And I would finish by saying that but our city needs to move forward, and the Ethics and Accountability Board must hold everybody's feet to the fire. Thank you.
And look, I'll speak. At this time, and we're going to try to push along. We're opening up for the board members to respond to the public speaker. We're not giving you time, and we want to make it short as possible can. And I want to respond to the public speaker.
I want to thank everyone for coming out today and expressing some of their concerns that I have personally observed at the city council meeting. So I hear you. I do hear you about your situation, and hopefully we can come up with some type of plan or strategy to do and see what we can do, whether it's doable on our end.
respond to? Okay.
I would like to thank everybody as well for coming out, voicing your opinions, voicing your concerns. We appreciate it. I have too, watched the council meetings from home on numerous occasions. And all I'd like to say is, respect goes both ways. Because I have seen audience go up and just begin to attack instead of giving their position. So we must remember, I don't care who you are, I don't care what your title is, it doesn't matter, but respect is given. It's not given, it's earned. So if you're gonna go up and attack somebody.
What do you mean by attack?
Look, Mr. Jonas, we let you talk, that's the board.
Okay.
We don't need that.
There have been board members going to the podium in an attacking voice many times. And the videos are all out there, we can see them. So that's just my comment to say, it goes both ways. That's it.
Anyone else like to? Anyone else like to address?
I just like to say thank you all for coming out. It's a pleasure to see you all in such great numbers. We are paying attention. We have been paying attention. We are looking into what we do. The question is that we don't see what we see. With the doubtful and stuff, we still have to do what we have to do. You know, we had a lot of people here a long time ago. They're still here. And they ain't
we have to go see what we can do, give them a try, yeah. I believe you 100%. I believe if that had been the, black contractor, that would have been taken care of. But that, I've said it before, and I say it again, that it made them go back and take care of it. That made you follow, the second, fifth ward. Oh, yeah, that, I know the bid, Wayne worked in that area, and you're not the only one. You're not the only one there.
They replaced the new water line, but the turn off and turn on prior to that is done by the city. And that's when it was broke. They repaired the new. And it's $7,000 right now.
Yeah, but I would get with you and get whatever information we can, and we can see what we can do. You know, we have it, try to work with that. Mr. Joe. Yeah, the first about who runs the city. I think that's a question that, you already have an answer to. I'm not getting that. Just to give up my friend, as a senior, I appreciate you speaking. And as always, what you say, I take it. I take it. We have a lot of conversations in the past. And I appreciate you showing here speaking to this board. Right now, we're going to move. I'm going to have to change it. Leave it. We're going to stick over it, Bob. But here's what we have. Right now, I have two things going on. And I'm going to have to change the agenda a little bit. We have Mr. Smith from the HR. He was going to be here, but he came down with COVID last week. And I saw him last night, but I had COVID. So what we're going to try to do is speak with him on Zoom. So we ask for a question from him. So if it's okay with the board, then we would try to. That's one change I have on the agenda. There was another change that we didn't put down was report on. I need to add it on to that.
Heads up, you guys are in front of my microphone.
Well, then they have to hear. I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda for changes.
What are the changes?
One change is we're going to move HR up on the agenda. We're going to add the ombudsman report down at for the skip. Decide and then all set. It's all set to go. Whatever you go.
I just need you to go into your email, information. Yeah. I sent it to you, since you looked up. That's all you have to do is click on the link, so you can go to your email.
Okay.
This board right here? Okay.
changes to the agenda.
Support.
It's been moved and supported, properly supported. Change the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Have it. And once you send that up, we would move into approve of the minutes.
Hi, Mr. Smith. Can you hear us?
Tell me he wasn't there last night.
He was at the meeting last night.
Can you hear us, Mr. Smith?
He got healed.
Everybody have come in?
Can't make these lies up. He was at the city council meeting last night. He seen us. He was there for long.
Can you hear me? Two meetings.
Can you hear me?
There you go. You got it. Do it for both.
He stuck his head. Except say he can't see it.
It could be on my end, let me check.
Because I can hear you.
He could see her picture on that screen.
Yeah, I'm at the mic now.
If you remember, one your chair around when we get after the motion, we'll do that so you can see.
So it's actually been 4 meeting dates. We have meeting minutes from February 13th. Then the February 29th meeting was canceled by Mr. King. Then we have meeting minutes from March 12th. And then the March 28th meeting was canceled by Mr. King. So you have 2 sets of minutes that need to be approved.
Welcome to Google Meet. Enter the meeting pin followed by the pound key.
And I have a motion to accept it.
Thank you.
Minutes for March 12th.
The meeting is ready to start soon.
February 13th.
Enter the meeting pin followed by the pound key.
12th and February 13th.
Probably. Just go one at a time.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. The number you dialed.
Can I have a motion to accept the minutes for February the 13th?
Support.
Move and proper support, accept the minutes for February the 13th. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? We have to say the minutes for
You said February 13th?
February the 13th. Right.
Thank you.
We're to,
You're joining a call.
we're to March the 12th now.
Okay, Mr. Smith.
I move to accept the minutes of March 12th.
There's a motion. It is moved and proper second to accept the minutes from March the 12th. All in favor?
No,
Say
I
aye.
want to make a
They
change.
trying to get that stuff. Can we get
So discussion.
I want to make a correction.
Your correction?
Yes, my name is spelled incorrect.
Your name is incorrect. It is proper notice.
Which minutes?
March 12th, Tuesday.
March the 12th.
It's not a Y, it's a I-E, and D-A-N-T-Z.
Okay. I'll make those corrections.
Thank you.
And other correction?
Now, this was a standing meeting, right? This was a regular meeting?
This was last meeting.
There's a few people missing in terms of members present.
You're gonna have to mute your microphone.
Yeah, I'm missing.
Michael was missing.
I was at the meeting.
You were, Michael was missing last meeting.
I had to miss it.
But it only has 4 people that were asking me now.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the
Oh, okay. But I was here.
I think you came in late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have a question about the February.
Yeah.
Is anybody else missing? So myself, Mr. King, Patrick, and Frida.
Right.
And
And
Okay.
Okay,
Still hear me though, right?
I can hear you, yes.
so we will, and more correction.
I have a question for the February 13th, where it says the discussion concerning the budget, the ENB budget of 120,000. We did get that submitted on time because we canceled the meeting where we were supposed to vote on it. I'm not sure.
We did vote on it at that meeting, and it was prepared following that meeting.
And it was presented to
Well,
you.
I presented it to Mr. King, so I don't know when it went to the administration.
Did we get it into the administration, Mr. King?
It's to finance.
So,
It went to finance, it went to council, council said that they couldn't act on that, but finance had it. And it's combined with it, with double check the page, so it'll be going to finance. So,
I have a question. So did we determine who was going to be our media and recording person?
I'm sorry.
For media and recording, did we make a decision yet on what company we were going to go with? It's just that's
It was allocated in the budget.
February 13th.
I'm at 12 now. I'll go back. If there are no corrections, all in favor, accepting March 12th, 2024. Minute, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I don't know.
Some people are not voting in a way. I don't know what's going on here. Okay.
Still looking.
They're still reading, they're still reading. It's two days, it's two separate readings.
Well, what we're gonna do now, people, is we're gonna have, Mr. Smith, can you hear me?
No, we can't hear him.
Can you hear Mr. Smith?
We can't hear him.
No, I don't hear him either.
I think he don't need it.
Have you
Have you muted to her?
Is that a mute button up there?
Yes, yes. Okay,
Is that a mute button or that's-
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I can hear you.
Okay, Mr.
I can hear you well, but you can't hear me now.
Yes, you can.
Oh, okay. Then we're good.
Mr. Kagan, can you hear me? Something. What are we doing?
There's a two.
Let's cut it two.
Mr. King, are you too close?
He heard it,
But she got hers on.
So she needs to mute
so
her.
I'm not covered. Can you hear me, Mr. Smith? Mr. Smith, can you hear me?
Can hear. It seems like an echo from someone talking here.
Yes. On the laptop, so I called in.
Yeah,
Disconnect the laptop.
that person is probably gonna have to mute.
That sound better now.
Okay,
Say something.
Mr. Smith? We got you on now. We might be going in and out, but I have a board here, and we're gonna try to ask a few questions. Question is where we with the application for the eminence, for the Ombudsman office. Has the analyst position been closed, or is it still open, or what do we have? I never got anything from Nicole. Yeah, I can hear you somewhere.
His question, the analyst position in the ombudsperson's office, has it been closed? And also, we haven't received any information from Nicole, no applications or anything.
Okay, I'm surprised. I will make sure that every application is sent over. I know I talked with her earlier today in preparation for this, and I know she was asking, and Deidre, both were asking if you're looking for just the ones that are qualified or all of the applications that applied for the position.
All of them.
Every last one.
Okay? So whether they're qualified or not, you just want to see all that apply.
Okay, I'm going to represent the floor meeting, ask any question to Mr. Smith.
I'm sorry?
Mr. Smith, how many?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Smith, how many applicants applied?
How many applicants have applied?
I don't have that in front of me, I'm sorry. I've been off for about 7 or 8 days with COVID, and this is my first day since last night, so I can get that information for you to find out how many. I can even have my staff talk with anyone that you choose to tell you how many applicants applied. I mean, I want them to make sure that they send in the normal process, we would send every qualified applicant that applied for any position in the city manager, any applicant that met the minimum qualifications. The problem with sending every applicant that didn't meet the minimum qualification is that the NeoGov system, if they don't meet the minimum qualification, but I can have them every applicant that applied and have that sent to you. They can get that to you tomorrow.
Anyone else have a question?
I have a question. Is asking if he's going to send them to the ombudsperson's office, or is he saying he's going to send them?
Let the board finish it. Here. Anyone else have a question?
She got a legitimate question, so can.
Well, wait a minute.
Ask the question for.
Let me do the meeting here, please.
I hear you.
Yeah, but I understand, but we can't run. That's, you got a question, I heard that. I'm going to ask a question at the board.
I'd like to ask you a question.
Okay, Ms. Williams.
Mr. Smith. Frida Williams here. Was this position reopened after it closed in December?
Which position?
The ombudsman's position.
This is for the analyst.
No.
Right, this is not,
It's
this is not the ombudsman,
not
this is the
the-
analyst.
The what?
The analyst.
Oh,
Her support staff.
I thought we were.
She
the
has no
staff,
support
we're trying to
staff.
staff the
Okay,
office.
so we're done with the ombudsman?
Yeah.
We can't ask him any questions about the ombudsman position?
About what is going to be filled. It's filled.
No, as far as, was it reopened? That was the question that we had that no one seems to be able to answer. Did the job reopen once we voted for it to be reopened for 90 days? Was it reopened?
No.
It was never reopened?
It's not
Mr.
days.
Smith, this job, the ombudsman's job I'm
Okay.
asking you about now, was that job ever reopened?
The analyst, are we talking about the analyst position?
No, we're talking about the ombudsman's job.
Any position, any position that's open would stay open normally for a period of 7 days. The position would normally stay open for a period of 7 days. In some cases, there will be requests to open that or keep it open for a period of 2 weeks. If any applicants, then the hiring manager may request to have it open another 2 weeks, or in some cases, they will say, please keep it open indefinitely until we can get, especially for hard to fill positions. So, that position, I'll make sure that I can find out, when it was open, when it was closed, who requested it to be open, or when it was requested to be reopened, and have that also, for you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Shasta, can you repeat your question again so Mr. Smith can hear your question?
Yes, I was asking, was those applications coming to the ombudsperson as little, or you're sending it to the board?
It would be to the ombudsperson, for the analyst position would go to the ombudsperson, for the ombudsman position would naturally go to the board. Would be sent to Mr. King, or it can be sent to all. Now, I know that Mr. King, they were instructed to send those to Mr. Jones, and I think someone to the board. But again, I've got 2 recruiters there, so I'll find out, who they sent them to. But the process, actual hiring manager of that position would be the person getting. So who's would get all the applications.
Another board member have a question. Another board member have a question. Mr. Smith, I have one because we got conflict. The board have hired it. They have legally voted to hire an ombudsperson. That's not rescinded. But the problem is everybody wants is getting her sworn in, which I have said that can't be done now. Because want to get sworn in. And I think you do the contract. How do we that move to get that contract signed so she can get sworn in?
Mr. King, hear you clearly.
Okay, what he stated was that the board had unanimously voted on who they selected for the ombudsperson. We also have legal presentation here, and he was told that in order for the ombudsperson to get sworn in, they had to have a contract and documentation from the Human Resource Department.
Well, I don't know who your legal representation is. I know I talked with our legal department prior to coming to this meeting, and I know that back on January 31st, Bill Kim, who's a city attorney, did send out to the Ethics and Accountability Board members, and if I'm not mistaken, and it was regarding that his legal opinion, and what I was told by our legal man is that the EAB lacks the authority to appoint an applicant to the position of ombudsman, if that person does not possess the minimum requirements specified in the job description as set forth in the applicable appointment of Shackstad flight on January 25th was without legal authority and is invalid. So that's our legal department's opinion. And from an HR point of view, I'm bound by the legal department's opinion.
Okay.
I don't know if he's there present at this meeting. the city. But if not, I think this is a question.
Okay. Okay, we will move on that because we're challenged. We are not agreeing with the opinion of Mr. That ordinance is, I don't think, and I'm not saying the whole board, knowing what been on the board from the beginning and when the charter was put in place, I have my concern or suspect that that was even in place during the time. When I see things coming, they're putting back on the previous administration, and I don't believe they made those actions. I don't believe the board, the council made any action, took an action on that, and I am personally, as chairman of the board or board member, I'm willing to challenge that. They're gonna have to give me that, and I'm willing to call the rest of the administration at that time, before this board, this plan, who altered that, and even the council member, I'm ready to do that. I do have my suspicion about that document. So I understand what you're doing, what you're supposed to do, but that I'm in the process of, I'm going to challenge that, and they're going to bring me more evidence than what they presented. Anyone else have to?
I'm sorry, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Anyone else that you want to respond?
No, the only thing I was saying is that I can't, speak for our legal department at all.
Right.
And, I'm, bound by, the legal, rule, in this case. So I think it would be wise to have our legal department representative, Mr. Kim, or whomever he decides to, represent the legal department, address this and possibly in person.
Yeah, I understand. Ms. McIntosh.
And also, I think it's a portion of Ms. Little's experience that is not being considered. And I think we need to also question that. How can they, because they said for instructional, that she's been a teacher, a special ed teacher, and all these other teachers, then that's definitely instructional. I don't see how you can not count that. There's no way you can be a teacher without being instructional. And some other things, but I agree with Mr. King. I think we need to challenge it because I don't recall as an ethics and accountability board member being here from the beginning ever voting on changing the scope of the qualifications for the position. So, and it would seem to me that in order to change it, that this board would have to make a move before city council would. I don't see city council just taking it upon themselves and never bringing it to us or mentioning, and they voted to change a qualification in our office, and it never came before us. We don't recall it. Nobody recalls it. I just find it strange.
The only thing I'm referencing is, just the document that was, given to me, that said like on May 13, 2019, pursuant to section 501 of the Flint City Charter, the Flint City Council enacted ordinance 190-159.10. That ordinance amends section 35-112 of the Flint Code of Ordinance to include a job description for the position of ombudsperson. The job description includes 11 minimum entrance requirements. Among those minimum entrance requirements are the following: 5 years of experience in municipal, state, or federal government. And that's under B. And under E, 5 years of experience in counseling and alternative dispute resolution, and giving examples of mediation and negotiations. And that's what I was given. This is way before my time with the city.
Did you say a day that was adopted? What day did you say that was adopted?
To the May 13th, 2019.
Mr. Smith, when did you first see this document?
When did I see the document?
When did you first see it? That
I'm
ordinance?
sorry, can you repeat that?
When did you first see that ordinance? When was the first time that you see that ordinance that you just read?
When was the first time that you saw that ordinance that you just read?
I just got this ordinance from Bill Kim in person this week, but he actually sent it out, he said on January 31st, 2024.
Okay, because I've never seen it. We never used it when we did the first ombudsman. No one never brought it to our attention. Now, I sat down with you when we went through ombudsman. We were, Pastor Gibbon was chair. We went through and made some changes.
Amen.
Me and Mr. Harris sat down with you and made some changes. At no time was there a document, an ordinance that was presented to you, me, any member of this board since we've been together. And I know that's not, it's something legal we're gonna have to deal with. I know you can't speak on it, because if you just got it, then you know it, you didn't know anything about it either. And that's why I have some suspicions about it.
Yeah, and you know, I asked him for it is because he said he had, that it was sent out to the Ethics and Accountability Board in January of 2024. So that's the reason about it, Mr. King.
No, it wasn't sent to us in January because we didn't make the move until February. And it came out after we made that move. So that's why I got a problem with this. The board wasn't even set. The board wasn't even in position until July of 2019. So I know that's before your time. I'm not going to hold you up on that because you're not going to be the answer. That's something we'll let legal. I would let legal respond, but we'll do what we have to do. Anyone else? Okay, if no one else have any questions for Mr. Smith, I appreciate your time. Make yourself available, and we will.
Let me apologize to the board. You know, I don't have a problem being at the board meeting. I like coming. I've been sick for with this stupid stuff they call COVID, and I missed the last board meeting, so I do apologize for that. And it's just, it's got some residual effects that I didn't expect. So let me, first give my apologies.
We all gonna be sick.
And, I'll be at any other meeting that you set for me going forward.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And you have a good rest of the afternoon, and thanks very much for your time.
All right, thank you.
Mr. King, just for the record, we're looking at when we received that legal opinion, and it was sent out by Bill Kim in January of this year. So I want the record to be clear when we received that. That's the opinion. But was that the ordinance? That's the opinion.
Yeah, but
The whole opinion included. The ordinance.
But the ordinance.
That was the ordinance that he was reading. That was the ordinance. And that ordinance didn't come out until after we voted. So let's move on. We don't got so much time. And my notes right now I'm going to double back, and I'm gonna explain. We got our last meeting. The board voted for us to reach out to the Attorney Skillman, see what she accepted being representing the board as independent, out the board, independent attorney. And let me make the board understand that I do not take the spot of the attorney that is sent from the city. They're still here. There's some things that she's gonna be the representative on, but we still have to throw her back. Some things that dealing with the city attorney, she's not there to take his place. With that, Ms. Skillman, Attorney Skillman, I'd like to stand and introduce you to the board. This is Attorney Skillman. Yeah, she has been the attorney for Detroit Ombudsman office for a long time, so she got a lot of experience and I think she's the guidance we're gonna need as we move forward. So Ms. Skillman, the floor is yours.
Thank you. My name is Alicia Skillman. I served with the Detroit Board of Ethics as a board member from 2011 to 2017. I was the chair, I was the vice chair, I was a member, I was the head of various committees, and then I became the executive director for the Detroit Board of Ethics. Their ombudsperson is a separate office from those two. So then I went on and served several years as the executive director for their Board of Ethics. I'm thankful that you thought of me again. In the past, I worked with this board and did some training. I think it was back in 2018, 2017 timeframe. This board even came and visited our operations in the city of Detroit to see how we operate. To see how our policies were developed. They sat in on a couple of meetings. I was impressed with the trip. So I'm looking forward to doing work with you all again. And I'm grateful that you thought of me. My background, I'm an attorney. I grew up in Saginaw, Arthur Hill. As you know, as a youngster, I was back and forth to Flint visiting friends, so I'm familiar with Flint and Flint politics. I lived in Flint for maybe 10 years as a young person. After I came back from college, I worked for Flint Metal Fab, and then I moved down to Detroit and spent some time working with General Motors. After that career, I went back to law school, and here I am today. So my background includes, of course, the work with General Motors as a floor supervisor, engineer, patent law, trademark law, municipal ethics, probate, estate, mediation, and I think that's about it. Yeah, I've also worked as a nonprofit executive. I help create nonprofits, help create businesses. I do a little bit of everything. So I hope, you know, not only can I bring my legal experience, but my common sense experience. I'm also a minister. I've been a minister since 2013. I'm on the ministerial staff at Third New Hope Baptist Church in Detroit. We have about 3,000 members there. I'm the lead minister of Sunday school. Okay. So looking forward to working with you, seeing what I can do to help you.
Thank you. Any board member have any questions for Ms. Skillman?
Mr. King?
Yeah.
I just want to state for the record, for the board's benefit, that when the board authorized us, we had indicated that we were going to reach out to Attorney Skillman first, and then if she didn't accept, we already had another attorney. So we reached out to Attorney Skillman. Myself, Mr. King, and Mr. Harris actually went down and had a meeting with Attorney Skillman. We kind of gave her a lot of background on the issues and the concerns that we have. The serious primary issue is that of the autonomy and authority of our board. And we're going to be needing opinions. And during that process, after we met, we conferred, we were able to negotiate a contract for her. So she has a fully signed and executed contract. She is being paid. An amount has been set aside for her services. She is an independent attorney for this board. So we and her are working together to move forward to get clarification. And we wanted the board to meet with her. If we want to go into closed session on particular issues, The board is certainly able to do that, but we wanted to make sure that you know that she is officially the board's attorney. Mr. King, you got it.
Oh, something back there.
So between these last meetings that you guys canceled, and we voted to have her, we did vote to her and another attorney. You guys signed a contract, didn't bring the terms of the contract before the board for us to hear. And then not only did you not check with your board, you signed something. And it states her limitations. You let her know what you thought the board needed. But you silenced the rest of your members. Because in some of this, it says she can't do litigations for us. Well, we said in case we need some representation for this board. So it's a lot of things, and I understand Ms. Skillman has the right to do her thing, but as an independent board, for 3 people to have a meeting, didn't share with your board, went down there, looked over a contract, discussed the terms, and signed it, and then come back to us after the fact, and this comes out of whose budget? The Ombudsman's budget, and then we can't get litigation help. So let me see, right here, and then I'm baffled at that. I've never seen a board that signs contract and then it says, you know, it has limitations. It's certain stuff that she's not willing to do, and I understand, but I think that's something that the board should have been included in on, because we do have legal issues, and maybe you missed a few things that the board needed clarity on. I just feel like, and then we done had some meetings, you know, like the one over at McCree, and some decisions was made without the rest of the board. It just seemed like a lot of decisions is being made without the full board's participation. That's all.
Okay, Ms. McIntosh, if you think back, we had a discussion at the meeting about an attorney.
We did.
And you made the motion to reach out to Ms. Skillman.
I did, reach out.
And we voted, and the motion was get Ms. Skillman if she was there. We don't have a lot of time to bring to the board. And we discussed months after months, meeting after meeting.
But you canceled 2 meetings since then.
Wait a minute.
So we had time, because you canceled 2 meetings.
Well,
you could have sent us an email. You could have called a special board meeting, because that's what those are for.
it's time consuming, time to the board act, they voted, and Ms. Skillman accepted, and that's the board.
We didn't vote on no contract terms.
Well,
and even if we didn't vote, what does it hurt for you to let us know, well, we're gonna talk to her, and on this day, we plan on signing the contract? Is it anything you got, because this is what we want in the contract, is it anything you guys think we may have missed as a board?
Let me explain the contract. Ms. Skillman did not do the contract. This is the contract that the said attorney had. We had Mr. Shell there to do it. We got.
So let me be clear.
Yeah, you can.
The city attorney's office, we consulted with the city attorney's office, because this is not coming out of the ombudsperson's budget. This is coming out of the law department's budget. The allocation is for legal services, and it should be directed to the law department's budget. Mr. Kim asked Attorney Skillman to prepare and present a contract, and they negotiated the terms after we discussed. There is a limitation on litigation, but that is negotiable, and if we feel we need to go to court.
Who is we?
We as a board. If the board feels that we need to go to court, then we can come to terms to be able to do that.
And other questions, Ms. Skillman. Another question to me. If there's a problem with it, I did what I think was gonna be best, need to be dead. We've been talking about attorney ever since I've been on this board. We got one, we talked, and we do a lot of complaining and no action. I took the action that that we had to have someone, and I think we couldn't find anyone better, even
We
if we
agreed
tried.
to that, that's not the issue.
So, so we deal with, the board have some other things, the contract and stuff, those things still have to be negotiated. I'm not an attorney,
Right.
and I'm not gonna, and I don't want to turn on this board.
So what,
And
it's
I
9 of
trust-
us on this board,
I
9.
trust- well-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, more than 9. It's quite a few of us.
Well, Ms. McIntosh, one of the issues that I had a concern about, that I shared with Mr. King, as well as Attorney Skillman, is sometimes the city plays with contracts. I did not want her coming down here, agreeing to do things, spending her time, because she's coming from Detroit.
Right.
I want her to be on the clock when she's working for us. I don't want her concerned about when is she gonna get her contract, when is she gonna get paid. I wanted all of that out of the way. I did. That was a concern of mine.
Okay, so you went to Mr. King, Mr. Attorney Kim, who play the games that you concerned with, who always, but that's who y'all met with. And
That's who we communicate
and
with.
chalk this out with her, not your board. The people that play games with the contracts, that's who you went to with this contract.
Attorney
And then you
Skillman
share it
and
with the
Mr.
board.
Kim negotiated.
Oh, that's
that
fine,
contract.
that's fine, but this is the Ethics and Accountability Board, and what happens on this board, what happens on this board, whether you're attorney or whoever, everybody's supposed to know what's going on, not after it happened. Not after it happened. Yes, we want an Attorney Skillman. I'm the one who said it. Yes, I did make the motion. So the fact that she's here, I'm not disappointed in that. It's how you're constantly executing, Mr. King. That's the problem. That is the issue. And that's fine that her and Mr. Kim worked out their contracts. But maybe somebody on this board who's been sitting here battling this thing for years had a legal idea or a legal concern that we may have been facing that keeps being a barrier against us that they may have wanted to ask, could she assist with? And I mean, just whatever the questions is, for your concerns to be voiced, because this is what you want. See how you didn't want her contract and you decided, because some of us wanted some stuff too, possibly. And we didn't get the opportunity to voice that because 2 or 3 members made decisions for the entire board, which is fine. I ain't mad Ms. Skillman is here because this is part of the issues that we're having too that concerns me.
And Ms. McIntosh,
I'm done with it. Thank you, Mr. King, for your time.
yeah, because I can't go, I got too many things that the board haven't discussed and is still there. And I understand when you don't, when you're not gonna do, there's not spend a lot of time trying to get people to read stuff, look at stuff and bring an opinion back to the board, and you don't do it. Suggestions, you don't do it. Now I'm at the point where if we're gonna get anything done, I gotta make a decision.
Well, on January 9th, we're supposed to vote on the
here,
elected officials
We
too.
got a problem with a buzz person that we have.
We don't have a problem.
We need a turn-in place.
Mr. King,
And
I
we're
agree with
going to
all
move-
that.
I'm speaking to, I'm not just speaking in general, I'm not looking for an argument.
It's not
We're
an
gonna
argument,
move-
it's
we're
a
gonna
board
move on.
conversation.
We're gonna move on with the agenda at this
Can I
point.
make one more comment to the board? before
Yeah,
we move
please,
on?
Ms. Gilman.
The contract was written in such a way that more than one type of task can be included in the contract. So I wrote it that way because when they talked to me, they talked about a variety of means. And so I didn't want to limit.
Attorney Skillman, would you stand?
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. When I wrote the contract, I wrote it so that it was broad and that it would cover a variety of needs. When the officers came to me, they talked about a variety of needs, including process and procedures, especially. And so I wrote it in a certain way so that a variety of things could be done, not just working on complaints, not just addressing opinions, but training possibly, and process and procedure, and making sure folks understand that, Open Meetings Act, issues like that. So they were thinking of a whole bunch of different issues to be addressed and not just narrowly.
And that's good, because I know that we were really addressing the opinion of the lawyer, Mr. Kim. And everyone has an opinion. Everyone here goes with the city attorney because he's the highest head of the law for the city. But we did not agree with that opinion. So we wanted to get an outside counsel's opinion. And I appreciate the extras that was negotiated in that contract. And but that's good that you brought that up.
Anyone else? At this point, Attorney Skipper, I appreciate your work on the board. I think you got I did what you got to work with.
Yes, sir.
So board, and I'm glad you're here. And whatever we can do, we'll be speaking on it later. Any concerns there? But thank you. Thank you for accepting.
Thank you.
At this point, we would move on to.
It's 6:54. Yeah, that's what's running us out of here.
We would move to Ombudsman report.
Good evening, everybody. Everyone. The last time I didn't bring the chart in reference to the complaints that were coming into the office. And as you can see, the majority of the complaints, I went back to February, were about water, police, light complaints. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I don't have that. You know, oh, you took everybody's. Billy, you okay, so.
Y'all have these?
I gave you one with you. Okay. And again, the biggest concerns are blight and the water bills. As the lady that was here, she did give me her updated information, so I am working on that. But she asked me when was the next meeting because she wanted to come to the one last month. So, but I do have her information, and I'm working on that. Thanks to Mr. King also, a lot of people that have been getting these huge water bills, and as I stated, in the $6,000 range and stuff like that, it's because these are people whose land was quick deed to them, and they didn't make sure the title was clear. So as stated, when you quick deed, you take on the responsibilities of the property. So that's really all I have. Anybody? Any questions or anything? And a great value will be added once we get the analysts in. Okay. I really need some, some support, some office support, staff support.
So Shasta, I have a question. Are you able to investigate, so if we have like any type of issue, what are your powers? What are you able to do?
To do the investigation. First, I explained the complaint process. You can call the ombudsperson's office and file a complaint over the phone. I'd rather not email because during my training, they stated that because the administration has access to the email. So even if a person wants to remain anonymous, and that's the case, right. So not by email, and I won't send you a response by email. Okay. So you can come into the office, call and make an appointment. The number is 810-237-2020. And even if I'm away from the office, I have my work phone and it bounces to my work phone. So if I'm not in a meeting, your call will get answered. If I'm not, and you do not, but I don't answer the phone, please leave a message because I will get back with you. The other thing is, okay, you come in, and I asked you for a piece of candy. You come in and you give me the information about your complaint, whatever your concern is. I listen to you with an open mind and everything. Definitely don't choose or select any sides. I address your concerns, and I'm like the people the middle person for the people, because I can get to and communicate and talk to people that you all can't get to, if that makes any sense. You know, you can't get to a supervisor, or when somebody is not responding, but when they hear from the ombudsperson, it's sometimes the calls will be ignored, but then I go over their head. So I'm that advocate for the citizens of Flint. And that's also for the employees of Flint. So after you give me your complaint information, I enter into a database system that right now I'm controlling. I investigate, do whatever needs to be done. I will respond back to you to let you know where we are, where I am at this moment, because I'm the only one in the office, what's going on. I keep you updated as much as I can. You call me, I'm calling to follow up. Okay, give me just one moment, but you know, I'm doing the data, I do that. Then if the decision is not to meet your standards, if it's anything that require like further and some of the more serious issues, where I will have a closed meeting with the board, with the chair, you know, with this board, and we will discuss it. And we go from there with the outcome of it. So your complaints is just not being null and void. I've been doing the investigative process, and I have people that I can reach out to in departments, and they have been very responsive. The forms are available in a jacket outside of the ombudsperson's door. If I'm not in the office, or if I'm with somebody at the time, because that's why I say call and make an appointment. But there's a jacket that's the forms, and there's an envelope with the forms, and you can put it under the door if I'm not there. But again, Ms. Muhammad, I will make sure that at each meeting that I have some for people, for everybody.
Thank you.
And is there something that they received to show that they actually filed a complaint? Is it, what type of process is that?
I base it verbally because, again, in the training, I'm not supposed to keep any documentation or any records after a certain amount of time. It's supposed to be shredded.
Okay, I do remember her.
Because just like with we already had that experience, definitely with email and stuff, and it gets shared everywhere, you know, on Facebook and everything like that. So the confidential stuff I can keep on file for so long, but again, I have to shred it. So I enter the results and every conversation into the database. That's probably what we'll do next time, to show you how it's being entered. Each time I talk to a person, I put notes on. They call to check up, follow up. I told them follow up on the list. If a department head emailed me, I go into that file. I said, so-and-so from the water department said that this. I give that information to the constituent, and it's in the database.
So I just have a question. So like in the past, when your personal information was shared through the email, who would you file a complaint with? Would that be something I would go to our attorney?
Mine would probably have to be an attorney.
Okay. Would that be something Attorney Skillman would be able to?
A Skillman is representing the board. I would probably have to do something for myself.
Separate. Okay.
I don't know.
Your question was, that would be something the board would take up.
She's an employee.
She's an employee of the board. She's part of the city, but she's hired by the board, and the board would have to take that up.
So what we gonna do about it?
I'm sorry.
So how will we address that?
We discussed it. We're discussing it. Whatever decision, because the board does.
I thought we made a motion.
Pardon me?
Chairman King, if you would, sir, excuse me, it would be so appreciated if we all could hear you.
Speak a little high, I'm sorry.
I can hear you. Not just you, I can hear you, but not everybody.
Okay, so, but that's, we're running short on time here too. So, if we got any more address specific to the report.
So did you guys all hear my question? Okay.
I have a question for Shax to the report. Because Shax, I'm making sure I'm understanding to read this right. This is 2 months this is a 2-month time period, right?
Yes.
So do you give yourself 90 days to process a complaint? Is that, am I reading that correct?
It bumps up to me that is in reference to my notation and stuff, that's a follow-up that I need to, if I haven't did any notation or any update on it or close the case out, it bounces into my email for me to check, and I go through, read the notes. If I have to get back to the constituent, get more information, but it's like a reminder, hey, this is still open. It's open.
Because that's why it's confusing, because I'm seeing in the 2 months you had 14 complaints. And then they all, there's no data in between. It just says there you had 14 complaints and all 14 are still open.
Right.
So none of them have been processed, or none of them have been closed.
None of them have been closed.
Okay. So you're still working on it?
Yes, ma'am. As again, you have to, okay, a perfect example. Today was, as I was explaining, I guess the pretty weather is everything. I had to have gotten 5-6 calls for blight complaints and stuff. And in between that, I'm also trying to call constituents to give them update on what's going on with their claim, with their complaint. And between like the phones and everything, I have to set aside the time to do the data entry and the investigative process and do the intake. So but yes, they are all still open, meaning that I'm either waiting on some information or I probably have asked them for some additional information and waiting for them to get it to me, not via email, bring it to the office. Some people have chose to mail it, but I just rather for them to bring it, make an appointment and bring it into the office.
I think what we have put that thing,
So
that's a
we're
problem.
gonna, I'm sorry, we're gonna have Ms. Skillman for our own board lawyer, correct?
Correct.
And will we still have Joe?
But Joe represents here.
He's gonna still be here to represent
Oh,
the
yeah.
city. Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna be here. No, he don't, Ms. Gilman not taking his place.
No, that's what I was asking to make sure that I understood the process, that's all.
Yeah.
So, Mr. King, I don't know if it's a move or a motion, but I would like to file one for us to get more information on how Ms. Shasta's Little information was shared in a public email.
Well, I don't, the problem of it,
That's a problem. That was her personal
okay.
information.
I understand what you're saying.
That was shared in an email, that is a public email, her personal information.
You're talking about the one that came to us and went to city council, that Mr. Kemp sent, is that the one you're speaking about?
I'm not speaking about anything.
That was me.
Yeah.
That's the one she's speaking about?
Well, what, I don't know unless we're gonna investigate on council or board members, because board members got that.
I moved that we investigate.
And it was on
Okay.
Facebook. Second.
Yep, and it was on social media.
We've got a motion on the floor.
It's been properly seconded.
All
properly
up, okay.
supported.
We have a motion on the floor to investigate how Ms. Leah's personal information was got on social media that was addressed to this board, each member of this board, and I understand each member of the council. Most have been made probably second in the discussion.
I actually think that person, whoever shared her personal information, should be fired if they were members of the city, if they were employees of the city. Because who else would get a hold of that information? I mean, it's personal information, but it also was employment information and other comments that was on there, and I didn't appreciate receiving a lot of the personal information that I received.
Michael.
I want to know how we're going to approach this, because in the email it said confidential, so it wasn't public. Are we going to go through every city council and ethics board's personal email for sent information? Are we going to go to Facebook? What will the process be? And what is our legal standing on this? Like, is there, or is it just kind of like a, sometimes documents get leaked by people who post them?
It said employee did not get that information. Only council and the board.
Exactly.
So that's, so if it got out, it had to come from those two places. So anyone else, Ms. McIntyre?
And I would like to also put this out here. We have her information. We didn't need her driver's license. Why was that even shared in the first place? She's been an employee here for years.
Right.
Okay, so it makes me think that somebody put this out here to a multitude of people to deliberately disperse her information. Because if she does her job and she makes somebody mad, now they got her address. She's open for identity theft. This lady got a family. Okay, so this board is supposed to protect the ombudsperson so that they can do their job without feeling those pressures. And I agree with the public, we're doing a terrible job. Because here we are just not addressing this. This happened months ago.
Yep.
Months ago. And here, this lady's been a sitting duck all this time.
Well, I guess what we have to do is, I guess, are you all willing to give up all your email?
Yep, they can have mine.
Because you're going.
What do you mean give up our email?
That's fine.
To investigate, you got to investigate. And I don't even know, that's all, I'm not, you're getting somewhere, I don't know how you would go about it.
Mr. Chair, Lily's motion was not to investigate. Her motion was to obtain more information on how Ms. Shaxter's personal information was shared in a public email to the board and council members and placed on social media. That was her term.
That was your motion, and I tell you.
I mean, you say investigate.
I did repeat myself again, but the first time I did use the word investigate. So I would like to investigate and then add on to the
Okay, another discussion.
I think they find out who leaked it. Facebook, there's a way to find out who does stuff on Facebook. If we're willing to go the whole mile, let's do it. We will find out who it leaked, who sent their copy to who, outside of the board members and the council members. That's not hard to find out. We will just have to agree to that process.
Okay. Let me get it right. We know who email was sent to.
Right.
Now, who from that email sent that email somewhere else?
Exactly. So each person's email would have to be
linked to them.
Investigated to see where they sent that particular document to.
Right.
And that's not hard to find out.
Does somebody have the social media post? Because I've never seen it.
It's archived. People got it saved.
Yeah, but I'm asking, does anybody here have it?
Oh, I don't have it on this phone. I have it on my desktop.
Well, we would take the vote and I'll file out whatever legal way we can do it.
Well, now we have an attorney, can we refer?
Yeah, we can. I hate to call you by your first name, I keep forgetting.
Joe?
Yeah. I'll refer to him first.
Oh, okay.
What did you hear what the motion was?
I did.
What are your opinion on that, or what do you?
Well, I think just as an initial matter, I haven't had time to research this, but I think as an initial matter, some serious concerns have been raised with the investigation process. I believe the email went to, for the board members, it went to personal email addresses. So that certainly raises one concern with this entire investigative process. And there's some other issues that have been raised as well that would need to be looked at.
Okay.
And it's our personal email because the city don't respect us enough to give us, assign us an email.
Okay.
And I don't want nobody's personal information in my email.
So,
We have to also consider sometimes people send blind CC, you know, and you're going to investigate, you gotta see, is it a way for you to see that?
It is. But the good part about this issue here with Ms. Shasta is that the person who actually put it on Facebook tried to take it down, but it was too late because people had already archived it and saved it, so they couldn't take it down. So that's part of the investigation that can go forward and find out how did they get it. This is nothing new. They've been doing this, they do it all the time. So they would find out who actually forwarded the email to who. It's unfortunate that they're using our own personal emails. Even Ms. Shasta is sending us to our personal emails, our agendas and our, you know. So I don't know why we don't have a city email. It's not like it's hard to have. I mean, I got 3 email accounts. I don't want another one. But if issues like this is going to, you know, keep arising, then maybe we should insist that we get our own city emails.
Have we ever asked for them?
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you've asked for them?
Since 2018.
So
Oh, the board has required for email, so you didn't get
2019.
them? Really? Oh, wow.
Well, I know why you got one. Yes, I do have a city email from the other position in the city that I have used for years, but the board asked for an email, and so far we've been refused to get emails. And you're right, I don't like these emails coming to my email.
Right.
Because I got too many other things that I had to deal with.
Well, the school board gave us an email, Carol and I, we served on the school board. And I have served at U of M's, the Board of Governors. They gave me an email, and that was a non-paid, position.
And I still have my girl email from.
Right, so I don't see why the city of Flint cannot give us a simple email.
Right.
Well, we will let,
Right.
we got Ms. Gibbon on board now, and we have our own board that got to turn on the board. I'm asking, I'll let them kind of research that and kind of give us some guidance on that. They help us out with that. Right now is we're making a motion to do, I don't know how we're gonna go and do an investigation. So we'll try to figure that out. Everyone else, but motion on the floor, any more discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? I didn't hear an opposed, didn't hear a whole lot of ayes, but I had more ayes than I heard anything else. Okay.
So, Mr. King, is this matter going to be referred to Attorney Gilman?
Yes. And we're going to rush it, we already passed our time to be out.
Mr. King, so is the board saying they want city emails? Is all board members wanting city emails?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I do.
Because then I don't have to, sift through emails.
So can we get a motion to request city emails for board members?
Okay, and request, anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to request city emails for ethics board members.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor, do I have a second?
Second.
And motion proper second to request emails for all board members and a discussion. No discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed? Okay.
Motion carried.
What's up, Mr. Gibbons?
Mr. King, would you go back to the issue on the personal information of the ombudsperson that was dispersed? That vote, I mean, we are being recorded, and like you said, we didn't hear a lot of yays, we didn't hear a lot of nays.
Okay.
Can we
Let me
have
say
a firm
hand raise.
vote?
Okay, I understand. All of them that voted yes, I'm gonna do it this way. Because see your hands. So record
Show of
it.
hands or
For what?
So we can record.
This is the
The
motion.
motion we just made,
Can I read the motion so they know what we're doing? This is the motion by Ms. Dantzler for us to investigate on how Ms. Shaxter's personal information was shared in a public email to the board and council members and placed on social media.
I think we should do a roll call because it's a serious matter. I mean, it's just not a
It's up
standard.
to you, Mr. Chair.
We should
Yeah.
do roll call for
well,
the
the
record.
problem of it is it's carry. I guess I had to verify that. That's what it was. That's why I don't have to see the hands of the ones who voted. And see what the majority. And I like to see the hands who voted yes on that motion.
Those in favor?
Yeah, I like to see.
Ain't that, I thought
This
that's
is
why
the
we
same
take the
one?
roll call vote.
It's the same one about the.
Yeah, we
what you
voted.
just read? Correct.
We
Okay.
voted, and I had, and I said it was carried by, I heard more yes than I heard. No, but now we want to see, verify for the record, how many of them was actually yes, how many of those folks was actually yes votes.
Okay.
And that's why I'm asking you to raise your hand if you voted that way. Instead of going back and redoing, rescinding the motion, to go back to the motion.
So did you count the hands? Because I didn't count.
I've been voted.
So,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, that was the majority.
We all voted.
Well, I just see your hand there, okay.
What's your count, Mr. King?
I counted 7, and I had one say they did vote, but they didn't raise their hand, so I guess we got 8.
Carol, what's your vote? Yes.
Yes. I thought the board asked for a roll call vote though.
Yeah, it would be nice to have a roll call.
Mr. King gonna do what he wanted to do all the time.
Vote, we had to rescind that motion and start that motion back over.
I didn't think roll call was debatable.
Yeah.
I thought he just all that's what it is.
Yeah.
Making it just clear.
Wow.
Okay, so we'll rescind the motion. Can you reiterate the motion?
so I want to make a motion to.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
The motion on the floor is for us to investigate on how Ms. Shaxter's personal information was shared in a public email to the board and council members and placed on social media.
Support.
It was supported by Carol. Okay, so that was Billy's motion, supported by Carol. Roll call, Mr. King? You want me to do roll call?
Roll call, yeah.
Carol McIntosh?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Booth?
Yes.
Mr. Julian?
Mr. Skillman?
I think you should rescind what you did and start over.
Yeah, and that's what I know that's the proper way for people to, they just go all over the place. The motion.
Ms. Dantzler need to be the one?
Yeah, I know it's proper, but I
So
can't.
Ms. Dantzler, would you rescind your initial motion?
Okay, so assist me with rescind. I move that we rescind the motion. I move that we rescind the motion.
Does she need a second?
Yes.
Yes.
Second.
Right. Read the motion, to,
Rescind.
to investigate how.
We need a vote on
person-
that, right? We need a vote on the motion to rescind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so before we go to the new one.
Yeah, I'm saying, the motion was to rescind the motion
To investigate.
to investigate, how the information from Ms. Leah, first information was it's put out. Because you can, if you know the motion better than me, you can say it. I don't need to. Other stuff that is not. To rescind the motion. All it, in the discussion. No, I'm sorry. Do I have a second?
It was already seconded by Ms. McIntosh.
Any discussion? No discussion? All in favor of rescinding the motion, let me hear by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed? Floor is open for Ms.
Okay, so I would like to move this motion. Move a motion, I'm sorry.
Just make a motion.
Make a motion to file an investigation on how Mrs. Little's information, Shax's Little information was publicized through email, social media, and that was it.
And the council. And you said information, but did you mean personal information?
Personal information, yes, thank you for assisting. That was shared with the EAB board and city council. Y'all work.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor, it's been made, properly second, any discussion? Here, no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Roll call.
We're gonna do a roll We're gonna do a roll call.
Roll call vote.
Ms. McIntosh?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Booz?
Yes.
Mr. Julian?
Yes.
Ms. Dantzler?
Yes.
Ms. Hutchinson?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
And myself is a yes. So that is
Ready?
8 yes, 0 no.
No. Okay. Next up on the agenda, what time is it supposed to be out here, Miss?
By 8 o'clock, it is now 7:25.
It's supposed to be out, what, 7:30?
Just moves on that time.
Okay, so here we, next thing on the agenda,
We have until 7:30, based on our notice, our meeting
yeah,
notice.
but we're gonna try to get as much of this as we can, so we don't have to, I don't have to bring it back. But we allow stay in here, as long as we get this taken care of, we do that. Respond for the city clerk. I spoke with the city clerk about swearing in our chosen vice person, and her information to me, there was nothing in the charter that actually give her direction on how to do that. Most direction is did by head of the department when they hire someone, that they, it speaks to that. And she wasn't sure, but since then, especially today, it came to my, actually last night, at the council meeting, is that Ms. Lill had never been offered the contract. In order to be sworn in, you need a contract to be hired. And we haven't been done. We stepped out ahead of where we should have been. We gotta have a contract. And that contract is dead, not HR. It's not that contract. Of course, you can get a benefits and a benefit package. That is one reason why we need the attorney that we made the decision on, is get into that and get this and figure out how they're gonna do it, make it happen. So, But they'll talk to the city clerk. But this is my opinion, and the board might have theirs, that there is, until we get a contract, her hands are even tired anyway. I don't know how that was, but I guess, think about that, but
Mr. King, through you to Attorney Skillman, in the city charter, which I know you don't have in front of you, but it talks about the oath of office, and it says every elective officer and every appointee.
What section are you in?
In section 1-601. Every elective officer and every appointee before entering on official duties shall take and subscribe the following oath. Then it goes through the oath, and it says that that oath shall be duly certified by the officer before whom it was taken, and the oath is to be filed with the city clerk. It does not say only the city clerk can give the oath.
Right.
So we are not, this is just my opinion, we're not limited to the city clerk.
I've never thought.
The charter also defines who the officers of the city are. So I just want to throw that out there because there are other ways to get where we're going. And be in compliance with the city charter.
Ms. Dorsey, I don't remember going through all this red tape.
well, we didn't have all that. We didn't have all the roadblocks for the
Right, it was a
leaders.
different HR
But
department.
we still have to have a contract for her.
That's fine.
She had to have a contract.
And who brought the contract?
Legal
Excuse me.
do it, and HR, to process it. This year, you used to be in the attorney there.
Legal does the contracts.
I was just about to say.
I got two hands here. Go ahead.
Let Ms. Shasta don't hardly speak, let her go and get out.
When we did the interim appointment, the legal department sent over the contract. That's who it came from. HR, Human Resources didn't send it to me at all.
So that would be,
Mr. Kim, it came directly.
well, I'm sorry. Wait a minute.
Okay, and this might be a question for Ms. Gilman and maybe Secretary or Attorney Trishelle, because I've always agreed with what Ms. Trishelle Young said. Everybody else said that it had to be the county clerk. I never, because I'm like, why is she the only one subjected to only the county clerk? See, and then I kept asking for it. I never seen anything that said that. That doesn't mean, because I think we had an issue with our pages being different in our charter. Do we all have the same information? Because I didn't see that. And several people said in their charter, it said only the county clerk could swear her in. And if that is not true, remember I had somebody that was qualified to swear her in. And if we do swear her in, then I don't see how any other office can decide they're not going to give her a contract. So I don't know if that's a leg for us to stand on, but it seems like that would be a start.
But, okay, my thing with that is.
Let's ask the attorney though. Let's see what they say about that.
I can't answer a question
answer.
today.
Well, what we have is we have an opinion, we know where the city attorney stands. We know where he stands, so that's why we try to just give him to navigate through this. Because the city attorney got to do the contract.
Okay.
So,
Is he at liberty to deny doing his job if the law and the charter says we have a right to hire her and to get her sworn in? Does he have the right to withhold her contract because his legal opinion is not in agreement with the authority of the charter, as it gives us certain powers to have jurisdiction over selection for this position in this office?
well, his saying is that we could not legally hire her. That was his opinion,
Yeah.
and that was his right there, and I'm not, we're gonna have to have legal handle this. I mean, we all got our.
Okay.
I need to see the opinion, I need to see all the information that.
Yeah.
Also, Mr. King, I don't want us to put the cart before the horse. We're talking about getting her a contract. But the issue is about the qualifications and whether she meets the qualifications. It makes no sense to be pushing the issue of getting her a contract until we resolve the qualifications, because section -1-603 of the city charter talks about forfeiture of office, and it says the position of an elective city of Flint officer or an appointee shall be forfeited if he or she lacks at any time any qualifications required by law or by this charter. So if the issue is based on qualifications, we need to resolve that before we push getting a contract.
Okay, and so let me ask, so back to Ms. Tricia, what she said. So several city officials did not meet the qualifications. And to my understanding, because I didn't see this, this is what someone called me and told me when, you know, understanding the issues we were having with Ms. Shasta, is that resolutions were written to change the qualifications to get those people who were not qualified over the hump to be, I don't know if it's legal or not, but they're holding the position. So it seems to me that if that's what the charter says, Ms. Shasta is not the only one that's should be held accountable to that process then.
It also seems that in a resolution, if there's an issue, could resolve the issue if city council adopts a resolution to the qualifications that we deem appropriate.
So should we be writing a resolution, or who is in charge of resolutions for us? Is that city council? Is that us?
So somebody presented to us and told us to write a resolution, but we can't write a resolution and get it on the agenda. It has to either be the administration or the city council.
Okay, so if we write a resolution, I would think that somebody on the city council will be willing to present that on our behalf. I would think. Maybe.
And I don't have a problem with either way, but since we got all these legal brains here, let's make sure that they have did the research and they bring it back to us and that guide us what we can do. That's why we have hired our attorney, but she gonna need time to research that. And
Mr. Chair, through you to Frida, you have the social media post, so if you could get that to us so that we can get that to Attorney Skillman, so she has that as part of her.
Who you want me to send it to?
You can send it directly to Attorney Skillman or to Mr. King.
I have to have an email address.
We'll get you her contact information.
Okay.
so I say we leave any more discussion on that topic of one. If not, we go to our next discussion item. Old business rather is committee report. We had a committee working on EAP bylaws, and I think that same committee was working on EAP policies between the EBA board and our Ombudsman office.
We don't have a report at this time.
You don't have a report at the time of the report, but we were. And at the next meeting, next thing we have here, because people have,
Well, we were speaking of her getting sworn in. Ms. McIntosh said the county clerk.
Well,
She missed
She meant city.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to keep it straight. Okay.
next item we have, and it's been things there, and I don't know that, I think this list and everyone else copied a requirement they wanted, administration want for the P-card. Now, the reason I won't sign that because I think the board need to put some stuff in place. All I do is tie the board hands. If I sign that, it make me a department head. The board should be in that position. One, if something happened to me, you're tired again, your hand is tired, the board hand is tired.
Don't hear us step up, then we can make an interim if something happen to you, ain't that how they go?
No, but you don't have, I have all the certification to the ombudsman office. If you read that, that's why I wanted everyone to read and the board discuss, and we fill those gaps holes in. So it's something that the board is protected. If I walk out of here, you can't, I still, that information gonna have to come to me, or whoever signed that. So if you're not going to, if you did read it, then you don't know what it said. And
I think that should be referred again to Ms. Attorney Skillman. It's a contract. You're concerned about legal ramifications. I think that there's something that she could review and either amend, make some suggestions for you to proceed.
yeah, well, I can do that, but I want to make this, is that it's give me all authority. And it do not leave anything that if I move that anybody else on the board have that authority. That's what I want to make sure that we take care of that if something, I move, something automatic there, that responsibility goes to the next person. Just a small one this time. But we also understand that the power for that fee card stands with the administration. They do, I don't think the mayor's the only one had the power, if I remember right, to do a fee card.
We still talking about the fee card, we still talking
Yeah,
about.
well, I want to get it done, so I won't talk about it, but I need. Can you make a motion?
So I move that we refer the proposed contract matter to Attorney Skillman for review and recommendation.
Support.
If it rules the proper support, that turn the fee card contract to Ms. Skibber. Any discussion?
Nope.
No discussion, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay. We're to the point that any remark from the members of the EAB board. Anyone have any remark?
Thank everyone for participating today and hope to see you soon.
Anyone else?
Have a good night. Here we go again.
All right. I will entertain a motion. It's been moved. Second. Adjourned. We are adjourned.
Aye. You want to be loud on that one, too?
Y'all said y'all couldn't hear me.
I'm just down. Punch y'all.
Y'all done punched me, little thing. I tried to earn that. Go ahead and get your seat back. Go ahead and get your seat back. I'll say it to you.
Well, I'm gonna send it to you.
Y'all couldn't see them. So even though that's a good, you might not get it nice. Y'all don't see all of that. We see that. We see that. They only show on the cameras that y'all see the phone like the speaker. speaking, and then they're hearing that they already gave one before we even get up there to the podium. Yes, it's still chaotic, so that's why I just want to explain that part to you.
I understand,
Because I've been in the meeting. She was there, so, yeah, and so just like Candace tried to say, and what is your point for coming up here speaking? It's the same thing that all the other citizens got. Why can't you just think as a citizen?
She's gonna send it out.
Her point is to speak the same way as my point is to speak, your point, everybody else is right. Right. We understand that. But, you know what my problem is, I'm gonna tell you what my problem is this board, is that even when there's an issue with a concern, it's not even addressed. Y'all don't even go through.